Hi Jen, I've got some frame designs for your poster here, and pardon the length of this video, it might be more than 5 minutes. I'm going to get real chatty about it just because I've discovered all sorts of different options. So first off, I found this group of frames, boom, preview, that really kind of tie in with the textures of like dirt, grass, sand, bark, all kinds of natural things, and are kind of warm toned. So I'm playing with lights and darks here, and when I go warm with a frame, I usually go cool with the mat board. So I'm looking at this light blue here that just kind of ties the photosynthesis, fresh air, kind of rain color down here with the blue. So yeah. The first two here, they're both, I'm calling them like rough grain. It's a gray-brown kind of sandy color. So we've got both a gray-brown sandy color and then like a very warm kind of cat's eye, like warmer red toned sand color here. So we've got two different kinds of sand colors going on, and the rustic texture of all of these frames just, I think, look really great. So the only thing is these natural frames, these woodsy frames, they're expensive, and I have preconceived notions about like budgeting, and I don't want to push, you know, really expensive frames on you, but they are really nice frames for this print, and all of these natural ones are just kind of pricey. So I'm giving you a lot of options, just in case you fall in love with something. Yeah, we'll have options. So yeah, first off, yeah, let's go back to the gray-brown ones. This one is the very rough grain, so like if you were to rub your finger across this, like it is actually kind of like rustic and rough. I would put the mat board margins out here at like 2.5 inches, nothing too huge, but given the width of these frames, these are all kind of big for a big poster. I'm giving them 2.5 inches as opposed to, you know, a smaller 1.5 or so. Okay, so this gray brown with the very rough grain would come out to 220 for this size piece. The mat board would have 1/4 inch around that border there, so the opening would show that border, and you'd get to see all of the text involved in here. And this is also including regular glass, so nothing fancy. Yeah, and this is the low end of these frames, so 220 for that rough grain. This other frame, so you can see here that this rough grain goes in that direction. This one goes more in a horizontal direction. This grain is also, you know, very visible and apparent, and it's got good style, but if you were to feel it, this is a lot smoother. So I'm distinguishing them rough versus smooth. This gray-brown smooth-grained frame jumps up to 480. So I don't see a huge difference in style between these two, and yet this one is like twice as much. So yeah. My opinion is if you like that style of frame, go with the one that's 220. Okay, so yeah, gray, brown, smooth grain. I can send you still pictures of these as well, just, you know, to get a better close-up picture of them. But yeah, these are the more like natural gray-brown ones. Moving on, the warmer toned sandy colored ones also have kind of like a striation of texture in them, and I'm thinking of that stone that you see in like museum gift shops that's a cat's eye, tiger's eye, something like that. The finish on these is very smooth, like that texture that you see there is just like part of the finish, and otherwise this is like perfectly smooth, nice and sleek. So yeah, this wider face, larger one would come to 330. Ta-ta! And its little brother, which I think is still a very suitable size for this one, would come to 290. Now, the way that all four of these like sandy colored frames pair with the artwork is just wonderful. Like, sorry, that really ties the room together, so to speak. So yeah, the sandy colored ones paired with this fresh air breeze blue mat board just look wonderful. But yeah, small one, large one, $290, $330 for these two. I was trying to find something simpler in a plain frame to see if I could get the price down a little bit, and I was looking at this one. It's got the same kind of wood grain. It's not as stylish, but it's still kind of got the flat, smooth, natural wood grain to it. And this one is actually the same price as the small one, so these two here are the same price. Boom. I mean, all of these natural frames just seem to run this much. So yeah, to recap, yeah, I just love seeing it with the artwork there. You gotta admit, that's a great pairing. But yeah, they kind of run from the low end, 220, 290, 330, 480. Yeah. Okay, so gonna just keep on chatting here. We're over 5 minutes now. This other line, this is a rustic line that comes in a whole bunch of different colors. They've got yellow and red and just crazy colors as well, but I thought I would show you these ones. I kind of like this blue one, and these are a lot more affordable. $165 for your sized piece. The only thing is that if I'm going with a blue frame, blue on blue looks a little weird. It's okay. If this is a little darker in the light, the contrast is still okay. But I thought that if you wanted to go with this light gray, light blue, we could have a sandy colored mat board. Here we go. And then we've got the contrast of the cool and the warm, fresh air and then sand. And this whole line of frames is one of my favorites just because it's pretty affordable. And I think either that this gray or blue would work really well for your piece. The black is fine as well. It's neither here nor there, but I think kind of like, I don't know, black goes on everything. But yeah, if you wanted to keep the costs down a little further, $165 for these. Again, regular glass, 2.5-inch mat board margins, scooching it out here beyond that line there. But yeah, trying to give you some options. So yeah, I hope you like some of these, and let me know your thoughts, and we'll go from there. Okay, talk to you soon.